One of the common parts on the machines that has sort of a 12 or 18 month, maybe 2-year lifespan is the take-up spring or check spring. The check spring is a little wire spring that's located on the front part of the rotary tension assembly on your machine, and it actuates up and down as threads delivered through the take-up lever on the machine to help control the thread. It's an important component to control thread tension, and if this spring breaks, or when it breaks, it's very common that we'll see erratic stitches and poor tension because of it. I'll now demonstrate how to replace that spring. Often we'll have customers telephone us not long after they first receive one of these springs in the post because it's not exactly been delivered what they are expecting to see. You can see the tail of the spring here, which is obvious at the outside of the tension assembly, but what you can't see from the machine when you're looking at it is all of this coil section, which is actually contained inside the machine. So if you do receive one of these take-up springs or check springs in the post, this is exactly how it's going to look. Okay, I'll now demonstrate how to change this over. First of all, you need to take an Allen key. There's a 1/16 Allen key or a couple of mil Allen key. It goes in the side at around about, usually the locking screw for this is inside this black casing here, and it's usually located around about 4 o'clock on a clock face. We loosen that off, and that allows that barrel to come out completely in our hands. I'll just remove that thread there. So you can see there, obviously our spring is not broken. You can see it operating there. This silver barrel here at the very end has got a little small screw, uses a flat blade screwdriver, and what we need to do is loosen off that screw, and that allows the whole assembly to come out into our hands. We can just pop that down and set it down, and the rest of the barrel and the spring itself is contained there, and you can see it's just hollow at the front. And I'm now just going to fish that spring out. So there's our barrel. It has a slot through that section and our spring. To replace the new spring in there, first of all you want to start with the hook end, the wire end, and fish that through the slot like so. And then just squeeze and compress the coil part of the spring until it falls into place. You're now ready to grab hold of the tension assembly. The tension assembly has a little notch cut in it. I'm going to try and point that out if possible on the video. Just along here there's a little ridge that's cut in, or groove that's cut into the barrel there. The spring itself has got a little tail on the inside of it that locates into to help apply tension. So I'm going to insert that now gently, and I'm just spinning that around to try and find that location that actually locks into, and you can see now it just slid and popped in there nice and easily, and you can see that spring is definitely activating as I turn the spindle. Now what we want to do from here is pull it. It's important that not only is it in place but also that we apply some tension to the spring. So we need to rotate the spring and the device clockwise, so the wire of the spring comes up to the wall of that slot, the top of that slot, and the rotary tension discs has got little windows. I typically would say if you rotate that approximately 3 windows, and then hold it all together in between your fingers like so, and tighten up the screw, you'll have about the right amount of tension on that take-up spring is what you're looking for. So when that's actuating up and down, it's working properly there. So that's about the right tension that we're looking for. Once you've got to that stage, the assembly's back complete. We can move to insert it back into the black housing. You don't want to push this all the way back home because that spring needs to activate up and down, and if you push it all the way, it'll have too less a gap and it'll be rubbing up against the black cylinder. So it's important that you just ease it off, have a look there and make sure you've got a gap, and take your Allen key, position it in the right spot, and normally this take-up spring I'd normally have it in about a 10 o'clock, say, on a clock face, and nip up that screw and you're done.